Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Compliance Corner with John Hanson. It is a wonderful Wednesday, April 29th, and I'm here with my very good friend, John Hanson. John, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, thank you.
Great, great. Okay, so we're kind of in unprecedented times right now. And as we're moving through the governor's order on stay home and stay healthy, as we're navigating that with our own businesses from a real estate standpoint, sometimes there are things that are not necessarily black and white. And so, John, you wanted to kind of touch base on one of those today, and it really was about signpost installation and what happens with that. So what we thought we would do is go ahead and talk about some of the questions that our agents are having. And let me just share those with you. First of all, basically three different questions. First of all, why am I seeing signposts going up? The second one is, are agents getting punished for putting them up? And then finally, can I take the risk and make the choice to install a sign on my listing? So let's talk about that a little bit, John. What do you think?
Okay. Well, first I wanted to just mention that the governor has never made an exemption for signpost installations.
Right.
He made an exemption on several of our activities, including showings in person with, of course, the protocols to follow, and inspections to be done and things like that. But he has not made any exemptions at all yet for signpost installations.
Okay.
And so I just wanted to make sure that's understood.
Okay.
As I've gotten questions, I've just told them we are not an exemption, from that. So the first question is, why am I seeing signposts going up? It's because there are some companies that have made their own decision to interpret no exemption from the governor's order as there not being a ban on it either, and that and they're going ahead and doing it. So there are utility locators now going out and locating those utilities. There are signpost installers installing for some companies, and that's why we're seeing that. So they're operating, like you said, Kole, they're operating in the gray area because they've chosen to just go ahead and do that. Okay, so the second question is, are agents getting punished for putting them up? So has there been any sort of a mechanism that has been demonstrated by the governor thus far, or by the state thus far, to really look into the signpost installations? And the answer to that is no. Thus far, there's not. But it's kind of like if you are on the freeway and it's 60 miles an hour and everybody's going 70. So you decide to go 70 and then you get pulled over.
Okay.
You're not going to have an excuse. You broke the law. And so there hasn't been any sort of mechanism for punishment at this point. I mean, there is one on the books in the law, and it's severe. It's a crime. So that said, the last question there is, can I take that risk and make make the choice to install a sign on my listing? Well, or have a sign installed on your listing, because you would have to have first the utility locator go out, and then the sign installer would install the sign. To do that, you would be taking a risk. What I don't want to do is, I don't want to put you in a position where you are being handcuffed by me to not be able to compete with others in the market who are doing the activity. I mean, that's not fair to you either. And yet I cannot condone something that is what appears to be a violation of the governor's order. It's not us doing the activity, it's a signpost installer. But is it us who is ordering the signpost to go up? and being in cahoots with that. So there's some issues to think about that as far as risk goes. But if you want to, as individual brokers, as independent contractors, that's your decision to make. I think is whether you want to you want to go ahead and have the signpost installers do that, or if you are trying to live, the letter of the law on this and obey the governor's order. It really comes down to you. I'm not going to condone your action of having the signposts installed, but neither am I going to investigate it and create a ruckus about it. It's your decision individually to make.
So John, if I'm an agent, and I am an independent contractor, I can choose to go 70 miles an hour on the freeway, right? And it is my risk that I'm taking to go ahead and put my signpost up so I can be competitive. Now, I understand, John, that you can't condone this just because of the position that you are in. But as an agent myself, I can take on that risk. So I think that's the conversation. We're not going to have black and white every single time. It's not going to happen. And we're moving through this whole new era. Now, someone might get dinged for it. We can't guarantee that they are or they're not going to get dinged for it. So it really is up to the agent to decide against the advice of our designated broker to have a sign installed on their listing. That's where we're at.
Right.
Okay. Well, John, thank you so much for this. It's not necessarily one that got cleared up, but it is certainly one that I think is worthy of a good conversation. And as always, we really appreciate your guidance on this, my friend.
Yeah, my pleasure.
All right. You have a fantastic day, and everybody stay healthy, stay safe, and as always, stay active. Talk to you later. Bye.